Let me tell you why the Florida Gators are going to win a national championship tonight.
No. Let me tell you why Ohio State is going to win.
We got the senior leadership. We got the freshman phenoms.
No team has even come close to beating us.
Mike Conley.
We have Greg Oden.
Florida is going to get Oden.
We just obviously have the better players.
Noah, Horford, they'll dominate.
That's just how we roll.
We're going to crush them again like we did in football.
Listen up, Gators.
They lost 41-14.
You got your football win. You get nothing else.
We got creamed. It's obvious.
It's just going to happen again. You guys want football? It's definitely our turn.
This is how an alligator eats you. It opens its jaws and it grabs you.
The Gator Chomp. It's pretty obnoxious, actually.
Take those Buckeyes no matter what. If you hold their mouths closed, and you won't be able to do it.
Anyway,
It's all chomp, no bite.
how does a nut hurt you? At all. Ever. In any situation.
Game over, Gators. You're going down.
While the Gators have this, we have...
Oh, wait!
I'm not terribly impressed by college students spelling a four-letter state.
Yes, we can spell Ohio. We are meant to be here.
We deserve it.
It's time to take the trophy back to Ohio State.
There's some people that think we might be too cocky.
We're not cocky. We're honestly just that good.
We're here to do what we have to do.
You can't be anything but excited for Ohio State.
I think it's fate at this point.
I am so proud of my team.
That was so loud.
The road to the Final Four ends here tonight. And to paraphrase an old song, the entire basketball universe has the Georgia Dome on its mind. Welcome to Atlanta on championship night. Two teams remain, both are #1 seeds. The Florida Gators won it all a year ago, knocking off UCLA. Tonight, they could become just the 8th team in NCAA history to repeat as champions. Standing in Florida's way is Ohio State. These teams had their first meeting back in December, and the Gators romped. However, Ohio State star center Greg Oden was just back from wrist surgery. He's healthy now and looking for revenge tonight. A sellout crowd of more than 53,000 is ready to raise the roof here in the Georgia Dome. Can Florida repeat, or will Ohio State win its first national basketball title since 1960? Good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to Championship Night as CBS Sports proudly presents its 26th consecutive NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Our tip time tonight is set for 9:21 Eastern, and at the conclusion of the title game, this coveted trophy will be presented to either Ohio State or Florida. Joining me, as always, my partners Clark Kellogg and Sports Illustrated's Seth Davis. This time of the year, this big a game, it's all about key matchups. Let's talk about it.
Well, when you talk about matchups, you start with the man in the middle, the biggest guy on the floor. It'll be Ohio State's Greg Oden. He has to be able to stay on the floor more than the 25 minutes per game he's averaged in the tournament, and he needs to do that by staying out of foul trouble. When he has been on the floor, he has been dominant. He's got excellent quickness, a good drop step move, and he's also a menace on the boards and defensively. He's got to be a presence at both ends and play 30-plus minutes tonight.
And unfortunately for Mr. Oden, he's going up against that guy, Joakim Noah, a tremendous defender around the basket and does a great job attacking the basket, as does all three of Florida's front court players. Look at how quick Noah is to the boards. Maybe shove bottom to the floor a little bit there. I don't know if Oden goes down so easily. Al Horford, a terrific scorer. How about Chris Richard on Saturday night off the bench for 16 points, 7 for 7. I frankly am concerned that Oden can stay out of foul trouble tonight when you have three guys who are that big, that strong, that quick, and who are always in attack mode. Fouls are going to be a big problem for Greg Oden. And for Ohio State, one way to counter that is make it an up-tempo game. Mike Conley Jr., the sensational freshman point guard, got to get steals and really needs to do a good job penetrating into the lane. That's a concern for Florida.
Corey Brewer is a stat sheet stuffer supreme. He does everything. He does it all well. He's an excellent defender, and he's also a big-time playmaker.
All right, guys, coming up, we will hear from Buckeyes coach Thad Matta, and we'll listen in on Billy Donovan's pregame speech in the Gators locker room when Prelude to a Championship continues here on CBS.
CBS Sports presents Prelude to a Championship, sponsored by Pontiac. Vote for this round's Pontiac game-changing performance at ncaasports.com/Pontiac.
We are the Buckeyes.
Ohio State.
We are them Gator boys.
Florida. two.
We welcome you back to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. All tournament long, fans have been voting for the Pontiac game-changing performance. And tonight, we're going to find out which school has won the $100,000 general scholarship contribution from Pontiac. Let's check in on fans from the 3 finalists who have gathered to watch tonight's game and see if their school will win this year's award. There's the Virginia Commonwealth Rams, the Buckeyes from Ohio State, and the Georgetown Hoyas. And the winner of the Pontiac game-changing performance of the tournament is The Ohio State University. And here's the play that won it for the Buckeyes.
Gotta hurry. Connolly, 5 to go. Lewis has been awesome, lets it go. Pinto! He ties it at 62.
Congratulations, Ohio State. That game-changing performance just earned your school a $100,000 General Scholarship Fund contribution from Pontiac. Absolutely, congratulations to the Buckeyes. Ohio State won that. We'll see if they can win the national championship against Florida tonight. One more victory will give the Buckeyes their first national title in nearly half a century. Just a short while ago, our Sam Ryan spoke with Coach Thad Matta.
Coach Greg Oden spent much of Saturday's game in foul trouble, as he did the December 23rd game against Florida. What do you tell him tonight to keep him loose and prepared for this one?
Just play. You know, honestly, I think that, you know, Greg is a guy that has a great basketball intellect. Sometimes he's a little bit too aggressive, but I got all the faith in the world. He's only fouled out of 1 game this year, I think, out of 30. So, you'll make no mistake about it, we do need him on the floor.
A young team, first trip to the national title game for your players. What's their demeanor like today?
Quite honestly, about the same as they've been, you know, the last couple months, and you know, I like that about them. You know, they know they've got a tremendous opponent ahead of them, and we have to go out and play.
Sam, thank you. Tonight marks the 3rd national championship game for Florida in 11 seasons under Coach Billy Donovan. Moments ago, he allowed us to listen in as he addressed the Gators in their locker room.
You guys have worked your tail off to get to this point. In my opinion, it's happened for one reason. Because of your love, your care, and your unselfishness for one another. That's why we're here. Tonight, you are playing for the guy next to you. That's who you're playing for. It's bigger than yourself because of the guy next to you. We talked about the horse race. We're running the race right now. We got to run our race for 40 minutes. And whatever stage of the race is, whatever stage we're at in the race, focus on that moment in time in the race. Run your race. It's all about competition. All the other stuff's out the window. When the ball gets thrown up, we run our race for 40 minutes of competition. All right? Here you go, DJ.
Our thanks to Billy Donovan for allowing us an eye and an ear into his locker room. Crunch time, gentlemen. Who wins this game tonight and why?
Well, you take a look at the Buckeyes. For Greg Oden to stay on the floor, for the front line to play a competitive game and to make threes is how the Buckeyes can win. They can get all that done, but I still think at the end of it all, Florida is going to be able to prevail because they're so strong at every single position.
Somebody surprising for Ohio State is going to need to score, whether it's Jamar Butler, Ivan Harris, Daquan Cook, David Lighty, the freshman. Someone's going to have a surprising game, but I do agree with Clark, and I'm ready to play it from that Billy Donovan pregame speech. If there's one thing that has not been talked enough about Florida, it is their defense. That will be the difference both around the basket and behind the three-point line. Too much Gators. They will repeat as national champions.
All right, gentlemen, prelude to a championship will continue here on CBS in just a moment.
CBS Sports presents Prelude to a Championship, sponsored by Goodyear.
We welcome you back to the Georgia Dome. Our colleagues Jim Nantz and Billy Packer are set to call the action for their 17th consecutive national championship game together. Congratulations, gentlemen. Take it away, Jim.
Thank you very much, Greg, but even better than that, 33 years for the voice of the Final Four, half his lifetime, my friend Billy Packer. This has the makings of a special one tonight here, Billy.
It really feels that way, Jim, because we've got the 2 best teams in the country. Many times that doesn't happen. It should be very special.
Let's go through the teams and tell everyone what to look for here in the championship game. As you see, the Florida Gators leaving the locker room, about to take the floor. But Gators are out here first. The Big Ten champions. And again, the Florida Gators returning the same starting five as a year ago. They can make all kinds of history tonight, not only back-to-back. It can be the first time ever the same starting five won back-to-back titles. Has never happened in the history of the game. We've got the lineups and the tip coming up on CBS.
It's another championship game pitting Ohio State and Florida. They met in the BCS title game on January the 8th. And of course, the Florida Gators won at 41-14. Billy, let's go through the Buckeyes, what to look for tonight.
Well, the first thing is Mike Conley. He's a guard that every coach dreams about. He led the Big Ten in assists and steals. He knows how to run a game. Unbelievable for a freshman that can orchestrate a game the way he does. And then you have Ron Lewis. He's 28 for 29 in the NCAA tournament from the foul line. Just 1 for 8 from the outside against Georgetown. Can't have that happen tonight. And of course, Greg Oden, the All-Big Ten, most outstanding player in the Big Ten tournament. The presence inside, blocking shots, power moves inside. He must, as Clark Kellogg said, stay on the floor tonight.
All right, Billy, what about the Gators? What do you see here?
Well, we see an awful lot of talent, an awful lot of experience led by this man, Joakim Noah, who last year was the MOP of this Final Four. Set a record in the NCAA tournament, 6 blocks in the championship game. His buddy Al Horford on the inside, despite a sore ankle, had a double-double against Ohio State, 15 on the year. And then a key to this ball game, in my estimation, could be Chris Richard. He has been unbelievable in the NCAA tournament. 19 out of 21. He's the 6th man of the year in the SEC, and he has been unbelievable and can be a major presence inside with Oden tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2007 National Championship game. And now let's meet the teams looking to win their first title since 1960. Here are the Buckeyes.
Lewis lets it go.
Butler with a 3.
Lethal from outside. Compounded inside.
Alley-oop. Send it in. Wow. Gets to the 10.
Knock. Go in the paint.
Rejected it. Says no way.
Down to 2. Just 2.
Buckeyes buy a ticket to Monday night's final.
We are the Buckeyes.
And let's meet the starting lineups from The Ohio State University. At forward, a 6'7" senior, number 3, Ivan Harris. At guard, a 6'4" senior, number 12, Ron Lewis. At center, a 7-foot freshman, number 20, Greg Oden. At guard, a 6'2" junior, number 14, Jamar Butler. And at guard, a 6'1" freshman, number 1, Mike Conley, Jr. Now looking to become the first team to repeat since 1992. Here are the Gators.
The Gators, as good as it gets.
Florida. Fast and athletic. Very experienced.
Humphrey, deeper 3. Look at beautiful.
Again is Brewer. Coming up big. With another little burst. Horford. The Gators kicking in that extra gear.
And ready to repeat. We are the Gators. Them Gator boys.
And now let's meet the starters from the University of Florida. At forward, a 6'9" junior, number 2, Corey Brewer. At forward, a 6'11" junior, number 13, Joakim Noah. At center, a 6'10" junior, number 42, Al Horford. At guard, a 6'2" senior, number 12, Lee Humphrey. And at guard, a 6-foot junior, number 11, Torian Green. The head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes is Thad Matta. And the head coach of the Florida Gators is Billy Donovan. Well, it's electric here, Billy Packer. And let's check out their roads to the championship game. Both one seeds. Ohio State, the number 1 team in the final AP poll coming into the tournament through Central Connecticut State. The comeback against Xavier with the shot by Lewis, but then the monumental comeback, 20 down to Tennessee. Memphis in the regional final, and then outplaying Georgetown down the stretch Saturday in the national semifinal. For the Florida Gators, they were in the minds of the men's basketball committee the number 1 seed overall for this tournament through Jackson State and Purdue. Butler, and then Oregon in a regional final, and for the 2nd straight year, they end the dream for the Bruins of UCLA with their 10-point conquest on Saturday evening. And with Florida as the number 1 overall seed of the tournament, they will be officially here the home team and the home whites. And Billy, a final thought here before tip.
2 things that are going to be real interesting to me on the first possessions, and that is, who is Brewer going to guard? He can guard any of 5 players on the floor, Oden being the least, but I'd be interested to see if he goes